So much unnecessary and undue hardship to her and myself, and I don't believe that this is God's plan. What we've been experiencing, it has been a series of unfortunate events. And the lies, I won't even say the lies are thick. Like, we're thick. What are you talking about? Like, am I lying? The lies are thin, scattered. The lies are everywhere. Whenever I'm emotionally distraught and mentally distraught, I can't think straight to save my life, but I can tell my truth. And I encourage my daughter to speak up and out about her truth as well. In the essence of time, I've created these notes. The situation is not safe. The circumstances is not safe. It's not safe for either of us, but there doesn't appear to be like an obvious danger. But there's a lot of danger and there's a lot of risk in the situation that's been occurring. And that's a problem because they want to run with the narrative that I'm a piece of shit mom, is to discredit my concerns, to dismiss my claims, and to tell me that I'm crazy and to go take my medication. Hence, clarity above confusion. I'm telling my truth rather than telling a story. The legal right, moral obligation, and personal responsibility that I have. It is literally a crime for any mother or father to neglect their responsibilities, their obligations that they have to a growing child. Child neglect is a form of child abuse. What other people are saying and calling me a deadbeat mom, saying that I'm nobody and nothing to her, that I don't deserve to be her mom, that she doesn't deserve to have me as her mom. All of those lies are very disrespectful to the truth. This is to highlight the accountability and the respect that she has to have in her own life and her truth. She'll have a better mindset. Her mental health, her safety, and her well-being is supported in her being able to highlight the truth rather than the narrative. Think about the mindset of somebody that is thinking that their parents are garbage, and that they didn't care about me. That's somebody that is in poor mental health, that the confidence and the self-esteem, etc., etc. Somebody that thinks that they're not worthy of love and appreciation from the people that literally brought them into the world is somebody that's going to be a little bit challenged with trust and respect and all of those essential things that we have to have in any relationship, in life in general. And so if I think about her ever being hurt or angry or her feeling like anybody let her down, makes me sad. I feel sad, and I feel um I worry. I worry about how that mindset and those feelings could affect her. I feel that in having her truth, she will be able to be stronger in herself. Um, Not that the lies have any way of making us weak, but just having the ability to think highly of yourself, having confidence, being strong in your truth, just makes a difference in the way that you're able to live in life. I feel. Then I think of myself and I think about the fact that I talk about my mom and dad being garbage and trash and how nobody cared about me, etc., etc. Somehow, though, I believe in myself and I have this confidence from nowhere to highlight my strength, my power, the challenges that I've overcome. And it's not that we ever needed any of those challenges. It's just the fact that I was not prepared, I was not trained, and I did not have any previous experience to deal with that. So I credit myself and appreciate myself for handling it the way I did. Even if I didn't handle it all the best, I still credit myself for pulling myself up and out of the situation that I was in previously, because I'm not in that situation anymore and I'm not in that circumstances anymore. I feel more stronger in my truth, and I believe that she benefits in having me today the same way that she benefits from having me all these years. She's the right choice and the right decisions, and something that we have to have the right mindset to be able to do. So I got an email. My daughter did not invite me to her graduation. She graduated a year in advance, and she has to be absolutely proud of herself in that fact. I always tell her that she's all kinds of beautiful. I'm her mother, and in my telling her that she's beautiful is a true, genuine, sincere truth about her that I will always remind her of. There's a challenge with having a daughter in having to deal with people that are very manipulative, liars. They're pathological liars, and they're very, there's another word that I said about it, Evie, my princess, as I am all hail the queen. And I think that it was very, very disrespectful of anybody else to think that they had any right to call her a name other than the name that she was given at birth. And those people, they've been very disrespectful in trying to call her different names. It's the reason that she tells me that she wants to change her name. So my question to my daughter was, why do you want to change your name? And she said, everybody, they can't pronounce it. They keep saying it wrong. And I don't like that. And this is something that I understand this. Hello, my name is Haufenau Tafovaki, and that's not been the easiest thing for anybody to say. And I think there's a truth about that that I appreciate and respect about myself. My name is not easy, and it's not supposed to be easy. If someone wants to communicate with me, they'll have to try. They'll have to try to respect me, to respect my name. I think in setting that standard in your life, setting the standard of having that truth about you, say it's not easy, but I'm worth it. They know that in normal circumstances, if there is such a thing as normal circumstances, those people would never have the privilege of interacting with us in real life. Um, Her accountability is in the fact that she has a mother that she can count on. This is a fact. Not been the perfect or the best mother ever, but I have always been the best mom that I could possibly be to her, and that counts for something to her in her life and her truth and the power that she has through the confusion that she's experiencing. And when I reached out I contacted mental health agencies about family counseling and about me being concerned as her mother to her, and the fact that I think that she's making poor decisions under the wrong influence of the people that she's been getting information from. And a lot of my concerns and complaints have been dismissed, but I'm not dismissed. They don't have the responsibility that I have. They could never have the intentions that I have. Um, and it's very evident in what she's been enduring, what she's been experiencing. In her right mind and in her heart of hearts, she would never decide to celebrate graduation without me there. My daughter's truth speaks volumes, and I've seen it so many times. The way that she loves me and cares about me, the same way that I love and care about her. And during the time that we were in the court's corrupted system, a lot of those people told us that we didn't have any rights to do that. We didn't. They're not interested in maintaining the family. They saw a single mother, they saw a problem, and they saw somebody that they didn't like. It's just not safe to just leave a child anywhere. I've seen so many stories where people are in the grocery store and people are literally trying to kidnap children off of off of the shopping carts and out of the stores and off of the sidewalks. My daughter says this as well. She said there are kids that are able to be with their moms and their dads. Why is she not able to be with me? And that was a question she was asking me back in 2015. She was asking me that a number of times. They had a whole list of rules and what they wanted us to say to each other. And what I'm noticing now is that the influence of the court's corrupted people and the court's corrupted system is still lingering. And she's still in that in her mind. In her mind, we're still in the court system and we're still following the visitation rules. We're not in visitation anymore. Like, this isn't that. And what it was a lie. We have to live in our truth. They were very much attacking me personally. They were affecting my daughter's health and well-being by attacking me. They, for whatever reason, didn't like me, and they didn't want her to have me. In comparison to living life together 24/7, in comparison to being involved with a child's safety, health, and well-being 24/7, then it went all the way to an hour per month, which is crazy. It was getting more severe and more severe as time went on. They were gradually taking us there to where it would be a comfortable transition. It's the same thing with the situation now with my daughter and her gay boyfriend. They were transitioning her into the situationship with the gay boyfriend, and I have full custody of my daughter. I have rights. I've been able to redeem myself as a mother. I've always been all right with myself as a mother. I continue to say that I'm a great mother, and I mean that. I'm a great mother. I've always been a great mother. There isn't anybody that I could see or compare myself to say I wish I was them, or more like them or anything. I appreciate myself and all of my truth and my experiences to say that I'm a great mother, and I believe that my daughter believes this as well. My daughter appreciates me as her mother, and I can see the way that that's being communicated, but it's also being distorted. So the reason that I highlight clarity above confusion is to say that I am not fooled in the circumstances. Understand the difference between the truth and the lie, and I encourage my daughter to understand this as well, so that you can help yourself out of that situation. If you are in fact being told not to speak to me and everything else, there has to be a muscle about yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, to say no, to tell them no, to want your truth, your life, and the quality of that, all of that, the values and everything that you have in your truth in your life, what that means to you. It has to mean more. It has to mean more to you. You have to be able to flex that muscle in yourself to put an end to the lies. And I believe in her to do that. I've seen the way that she's fierce. I just know also the challenges it is to live in your truth when there's so many lies. Because when I think about the time that I was experiencing, enduring all of those circumstances, I couldn't help myself, and nobody cared to help me. And in fact, they were attacking me. As how unfair that is in a fight. It's basically them attacking somebody that is mentally, what they refer to as mentally incompetent, physically disabled, financially illiterate. Like, I'm all the things that they say that I was then. They were just concerned with attacking me and getting me out of the picture. And it's also a revenge plot that I'm noticing. The hatred is real with them. They hate me so bad that they want to attack they're trying to attack my daughter because they hate me so bad. I mean, she really has to have me to help her to get out of there. I think that she's being trapped, that she's kind of trapped within herself. And I see her truth, the greater truth that I see. And she's telling me that she cares about me, that she loves me, that she doesn't want me to give up on her. But she's also telling me that she doesn't know how to get out of there. Now, understand that I've pulled up there a number of times. I've told her to bring herself out of there. It's a trash can dumpster over there. Any good mom or dad would not be okay with their child being in a dumpster, in a trash can. She just doesn't appear to be able to bring herself out of there. She looked at me like she didn't recognize me. Who was I? What was I doing there? What did I want? And those type of questions. For my daughter to look at me and tell me that she doesn't recognize me or know who I am, and for me to leave, I mean, that to me showed me that she seriously needs some support in getting out of there. So I called a bunch of numbers, and understand that it's not comfortable for any mom or dad to call the Child Protective Services. Child Protective Services is something that they refer to as a quote unquote hotline. I have no idea whose idea it was to refer to the child abuse as a hotline. The child abuse number as a quote unquote hotline is crazy, and is super uncomfortable. Like, what good mom or dad would feel comfortable calling a hotline about their children? Disgusting. I obviously don't want to do that. I was calling what I thought was the Child Protective Services, but now what I see to be a very corrupted, sick and twisted route. The court system is a very sick and twisted place. My truth is superior than all of their lies put together. All of those people put together do not equal the truth that I am on my own, that my daughter is on her own. Like, I was in distress. I was in a lot of distress, so I was calling all the numbers that I could see. Like, I googled like Child Protective Services, family counseling, and I started calling all of these numbers about somebody, help me. So they're basically telling me to figure it out on my own, but just to stop calling. So that's where I kind of was at a standstill with all of it, because I had no idea what else to do after that. You know, it's kind of like when people call the police or law enforcement and they're expecting them to respond and then they don't respond. So then it's like, well, what do I do now? Like, now I'm on YouTube and now I'm talking to the world and I have viewers. According to the analytics, I have viewers in third world countries everywhere looking at my content. And I've always been very influential and I've always been very attractive. So I'm pretty sure that I can figure it out. I'll figure it out. It's a matter of time. In the meantime, I'm just going to tell my truth because those people, we've been in the situation for a many of years. And I know that when I finally bring my daughter home and out of that situation, um, I will have to commit to her detoxing thoroughly. It's not going to be an easy task to support her in detoxing from what the situation has been over the past few years. And she has to be protected from them, the toxicity that they are, the hindrance that they cause. They're literally in the way. What she's experiencing is that she's in a situation and her friends are appearing to be her only support. They're not supportive to her in the way that she thinks they are in the situation. If they were supportive to my daughter in her health and her well-being and her overall happiness, she would not be in that situation. They would be the friends that they're supposed to be and telling her, hey, this place looks a little bit sketchy, it's not really a good environment. All of those kids that are supposedly her friends are all existing in other houses. They're not living in that with her. They're not living in that situation with her. After they do their milkshakes and their hamburgers and they're watching the movie and all of the foolery that those kids are, and they dance around and they hee hee ha ha around and then they go back home, whereas she's still in that situation. To accept that as her reality and for her to think that they care about her is crazy. And I've never actually said this to her about those friends because I never wanted to hurt her feelings. The beauty that she is and the quality that she maintains in her relationships and her friendships, she deserves to have better friends. She deserves to have better experiences. She does not need to settle for less with those fake friends. They're county workers. They all are existing in homes and houses that don't look anything like the situation that she's in. How are they being supportive friendships to her if they're seeing her in that situation and not saying anything about it? I look like the bad mom with all of my negative comments about how disgusting the place is. And all I am is telling the truth. And all I am is being an active mom and saying that my daughter deserves better than this. The power of my truth, my daughter's power, her truth, and her reality has to be respected. They don't care about honesty, they don't care about truth, just to go with the narrative of the lie. That's what the circumstances is saying. But we have the power to create. My daughter's name is Evie. Evie is energy. Literally create, not make it up, not lie about it, not try to twist and distort things for something else, but to actually literally live in our truth. And the respect that I give to her, the power that I allow her to have in making her own choices and decisions is something that I've always been respectful of since she was a baby. I was only able to breastfeed for the first year, but after the first year, we transitioned to baby formula, and my daughter was always able to communicate her preferences to me. I started with a baby formula. She didn't like that formula, so I started with a new baby formula, and she preferred that formula. So she was always able to communicate her preferences to me, and I've always been able, as her mom, to respect that. So I've always been able to respect my daughter's choices and her decisions, and she's always been able to speak up and out for herself. She's always been able to speak for herself. When my daughter was in my custody, she was very outspoken. She was very rambunctious. She was very much her name. Her name is Evie. That translates as energy in the Tongan language. And everybody has always been able to say how lively she was, what a ball of energy she was. Energetic. She's always been very energetic. A lot of people have noticed that, and somebody said to me, she has the energy of multiple kids combined into one child. She's always so she's always so happy and so vibrant. They've always mentioned that she's super happy. She's always over, like she's extremely happy. And so since going through the court corruptions, I've seen the way that that's changed so much. And she was never that way. She was never a sad and emotional type of child. And she's not sad and emotional really ever at all. They never liked that. They never liked that we were happy. I just want to put an end to the lies. I want to put an end to the lies because that means that when the lies finally die, my daughter is finally able to be in her truth with me in our life. That's why I will continue to create consistently on this topic, and I'll be exposing more of who those people are, what I'm up against, what the circumstances has been, and all the ways that I'm going to discredit them, put the disrespect on them, dismiss them the same way that they've been, because they got it twisted. They got it really, it's been twisted for too many years, and it's time to get things straight. I want her to choose her happiness. I want her to choose her happiness instead of choosing to be hurt. We do have a choice. You have a choice. My daughter has a choice. Everybody has a choice. And to choose to be happy is a commitment, is a form of self appreciation, self respect, self love, self care, is to choose to be happy. Choosing to be happy is an automatic commitment to yourself to make things the way that you want them to be rather than to hope or wish or or secretly hoarder feelings of how you feel things are supposed to be. If you're choosing to be happy, you automatically choose to dismiss anything that's hurtful. This is a way to keep yourself safe in life, is to choose to be happy. If you choose to be happy, you're going to say no to all of those things that are harmful, hurtful, or hateful. All of those things, you'll say no to those things, and you'll say yes to your happiness. The obvious thing would be, well, she's saying no to you because you're all those things that she doesn't want. But that's not true. They're the ones that she has to be saying no to. I actually can't speak for her in that way. I'm speaking from my experience, what I've noticed, what I believe to be the truth, as I am her mother, and I believe in having her best intentions in minds and in heart. And I'm honestly saying that I believe that she thinks that she's not allowed to have a relationship with me because for so many years the court told her she wasn't allowed to even hug me. The court told her she wasn't allowed to talk to me, that she wasn't permitted to give me a call anytime that she wanted to. The court told her that she was not supposed to be talking to me about anything that was happening. And so gradually they started to distance us over time, so that she was further away from my protection and my provision as her mother, and she was more involved with their situation, their circumstances. And now, from what I noticed, she appears to be so involved with the circumstance situation, and things are very distorted and twisted, and she doesn't understand how to get out of there. And I don't care how delusional or whatever that sounds to anybody else. I think it's a matter of time, and I just hope that with this message, it's sooner rather than later that she's able to speak up and out about her truth. And I know that there's a lot in the way of that. That's the reason that I am creating this content. I've been talking about this on my podcast as well. I've been talking about this for years, and I'm only starting to, in 2024, after nearly 20 years of this experience, starting to speak up and out about it. So just thinking of that in comparison, an adult being able to comfortably speak out, me as an adult and her as a child, to think about how uncomfortable it is for her to speak up and speak out is really, it's not too crazy to consider what I'm saying as the truth. I'm sure it isn't. It's just crazy to me in that it's something that I've actually endured in my own life, and how mind-blowing this is. Not fully comfortable. I'm just not comfortable with this being my actual life experience. But I understand the value that this is and the difference it can make. And that's the reason that I'm inspired to speak up and speak out. It's to highlight my daughter's safety, her well-being, and to highlight the path that she has to be on to choose her happiness, to be over the hurt. I think that in her being able to minimize anybody else's opinion the way that I've shown her to do, I've shown her to minimize the opinions of others, empowers her to be strong in her own perspective and her own truth. So the lie is that her saying that she didn't want me to be there. I want to help her not be hurt. Whatever I did that made her feel hurt, what I can do as her mom to help her feel happy, to be happy, genuinely, sincerely happy.